Hello students, good morning. Today we will study about effective technical communication. Let's begin with unit number 1, dynamics of communication. As you all know that communication is very important in our life. In our day-to-day life, we communicate from morning till evening. From good morning to say good night, we are communicating with each other, right? So it is best if we communicate effectively so that people can understand our message. So let's begin our communication, the concept, the definition and the process. So in this unit we will study about the concept of communication, the definition of communication and the process of communication. Communication is a Latin word communicare. It is derived from the word communicare, that is Latin word which means to share, right? To share means sharing of ideas, sharing of thoughts, knowledge, information, opinion, experience, right? Not only that, but we share it in a systematic order. A communication is a complex process, right? So it is comprising various activities like listening, speaking, reading, writing and understanding and responding, right? So communication is really a process. Yes, simply it is a process. It is not only an art but also a science. Communication is a science. It is a process. It is sharing of ideas, knowledge, thoughts and many more things. When we share with others, it is a communication. A mother is communicating with her newborn baby like she is hugging, she is touching, she is kissing. So these are the ways of communication with a newborn baby, a small baby. So that way the baby also understands the message. Baby also understands the touch of a mother. Slowly their relationship grows and it becomes a strong bond of love between a mother and a baby, right? So similarly in our life also we communicate with each other and we share our ideas. Whatever is there in our mind, we communicate, we share it, we exchange our thoughts. Not only thoughts, we exchange some of the information, we exchange our opinion, right? So that is a communication. Let us see that what is there. First we input, talk, right? So when we are talking, it is a way of input. Then we listen. When somebody is speaking, at that time we listen to them. So that is also input. Then we are involved. If anybody is there who is speaking, we are, by listening, we are involved in this. After involvement, we are changing. We are changing. Some thought process is going on in our mind and it is again changing, right? So this way we can see here in this picture that talk, information. Through talking we exchange the information and sometimes it comes out in the form of knowledge. Then communication takes place, right? And it is coming in the form of understanding and the relationship. By involving it, the kind of relationship is formed, right? Next is some of the result. The result is the end of the communication process, that is a response, right? So knowledge, understanding, then we are applying something. This way we communicate with each other, right? So we can just see that. Have you ever imagined that some people are talking with each other? At that time they are sharing the knowledge, or sometimes they are sharing some of the information, right? A teacher is imparting the knowledge. What is that? That is a communication with the students, right? So when you are communicating with the students, you are imparting the knowledge, you are giving some knowledge, you are sharing some of the information that a teacher has. So as a student, you are gaining the knowledge, you are gaining some of the information. That is a communication, right? Just imagine if you are working at a place and everyone in the place does not have proper communication skills, and as a result everyone is following their own thoughts, right? So everybody has their own thoughts and they are not matching with each other, so they are thinking in their own way, right? Will that working place be effective? No, it will not be effective if it will be a big mass. Then there will be a big mass when people are not matching with each other. Their thoughts are not matching with each other. In order to understand communication, we need to learn 7 C's of communication. Right? So here are some of the 7 C's of communication. First one is concise, second is clear, correct, concrete, then complete, courteous and coherent. First one is concise, that whenever, whatever we are speaking, it should be concise, short and sweet. Then it should be clear. Next, if it is concise, then it should be clear. The person should understand it properly. Next is whatever you speak, it should be correct. It should not be incorrect. Wrong things should not be there. Wrong language should not be there. Structure should be perfect, right? Next, it is concrete. Some authentic should be there. Authenticity should be there. Concrete material should be there. You are not supposed to talk in a haphazard manner. So some concrete thing should be there. Then and then only communication takes place. Then whatever you want to speak, whatever you want to say, that should be complete. It should not be incomplete. Incomplete message always creates a misunderstanding. Then courtesy should be there. So you need to follow, you need to maintain the courteousness. What is courteousness? That when one person is speaking, the other person should be quiet. He should listen first. The person should stop talking, then he should speak. Then he should give the answer. So that is a courtesy. We have to maintain the courtesy. And the last one is coherent. Whatever the first sentence is, the next sentence should be connected to that. One sentence is connected to second, second is connected to third. This way communication process has some coherent thoughts, coherent sentences, and this way communication takes place. If we keep in mind the 7 C's of communication in our mind, definitely there won't be a miscommunication in our life. If we want to be an effective communicators, then we must maintain all these 7 C's. Now let's move on some of the scenes. We can see here the communication is taken place. Here in these pictures, we can see how the people are listening. One person is speaking and the other person is speaking, right? So a good communication skills are key to success. If you want to get success in your life, then you must have a good communication, right? Let us see some of the definitions what the people have said. In the first definition, we can see that communication is a process of exchanging ideas, thoughts, information, knowledge, etc. between sender and receiver through accepted codes. Some accepted codes are necessary, right? So communication is exchanging of ideas and thoughts. Next is communication is the activity or process of expressing ideas. It is an activity. Some people have considered it as an activity, and through that activity, through that process of activity, we are expressing our ideas, feelings, or we are giving people some of the information. This is according to Oxford University, right? So we can see that a process by which information is exchanged between individuals through a common system of symbols, codes, behavior, etc., etc. We can have some more definitions. According to Newman and Summer, communication is an exchange of facts, ideas, opinions, emotions by two or more persons. Two people or more than two people, when they are, what they are doing? They are exchanging their facts, ideas, opinions or emotions, right? So at that time the communication is taken place. According to Ellen Lewis, communication is the sum of all the things one person does when he wants to create understanding in the mind of another. It involves a systematic, continuous process of telling, listening and understanding. What is there in the process of communication? It is a continuous process of telling, listening and understanding. So in this way, communication is a sum of all the things one person does whenever he wants to create understanding in the mind of another. If I want to create the understanding in the mind of the person who is in front of me, then I need to do listening, I need to do tell, I need to do understanding. So telling, listening and understanding takes place. As a result of that, communication takes place. Students, I hope you are understanding the whole process of communication, because the definitions itself say that communication is a process of exchanging, it is an activity, it is a continuous process of telling, listening and understanding. Similarly, Katz and Kahan says that communication is the exchange of thoughts, information and transmission of meaning, right? So these are some of the definitions. Those focus on the exchanging, transformation and creating some understanding, right? Essence of a social system of an organization. Communication is an essence of a social system of an organization, right? There is the social system in an organization, right? So let's see. This is an exchange of information, right? Now here is a process. The main components of communication are sender, encoding, message, receiver, decoding, channel and feedback. So this is whole a process. Sender is sending the message, receiver is receiving the message, as a result he is giving the feedback. So we can see here that this is a process. Sender. Now who is the sender? The sender or the communicator generates the message and conveys it to the receiver. He is source and the one who starts the communication. Who is the sender? A person who speaks, a person who is communicating, who is sending the message is a sender. Then encoding. What is the meaning of encoding? The message generated by the sender is encoded symbolically, such as in the form of words, pictures, gestures, etc. before it is being conveyed. Before it is conveyed to another person, it is created symbolically in the form of words. When we are speaking, we are using words, right? We are showing the pictures, right? We are using gestures, right? So these are some of the symbols that we use in the process of communication, right? So through these things we are encoding. Encoding means sending. We are sending the message, whatever thought is here in our mind, we are encoding through words, pictures and gestures. Next is a message. What is a message? It is the idea, information, view, fact, feeling, etc. Whichever idea or feeling or fact is there in our mind, that is known as a message, that is generated by the sender and is then indeed to be communicated further, right? So message is the thought, the feeling, the idea, the fact which is there in our mind. Next is receiver. Who is a receiver? Receiver is a person who is the last in the chain and for whom the message was sent by the sender. Once the receiver receives the message and understands it in his mind, so he is a receiver, the person who is listening, the person who is getting the message, who is reading the message, who is listening the message, who is listening some information, that is, he is a person who is receiving the message, is known as a receiver, right? Now decoding. As we are saying in encoding, the decoding is a process. It is the process of conveying the symbols encoded by the sender. After decoding, message is received by the receiver, right? The receiver is decoding the message. To decode the message means to listen and understand, right? So it is converting the symbols encoded by the sender. Sender is encoding some message. That message is encoded in the mind of a receiver, right? So after decoding, the message is received by the receiver. So this is decoding. Decoding process means a person is getting the knowledge, is getting the message, is receiving the message sent by the sender. So this is an encoding process. Now channel, next step of the communication process is the channel. Now channel is a medium. What is a medium? Through which media the message is sent. It is the manner in which the encoded message is transmitted. The message may be transmitted orally or in writing. The medium of communication includes telephone, internet, post, fax, email, etc. etc. The media can be anything, right? These days we are sending the message through mobile, through phone, through mail, right? So these are some of the channels of sending the messages. Next is feedback or response. Once the receiver confirms to the sender that he has received the message, right? And he has received the message, the process of communication is complete. Whatever the message is received by the receiver, and as a result he is sending the response. He is giving the response. Suppose the teacher is asking a question. Hey, what is your name? The student is answering the question. He says, my name is Dr. Hira Rajwani. My name is Mr. Amit Kumar. Right? So, when he is speaking the message, when he is saying something and responding to the sender, this is called feedback or response. As a result of sender's encoded message, he is giving the response. So that is a response or feedback. So this is about the process of communication, right? Now let us move on to the importance of communication. Communication is very, very important nowadays. We can see that the basis of communication is a language that we are using, right? So mainly there are 6 points to remember. The basis of coordination. Through communication, there is a coordination between the colleagues, between the boss and the subordinate, between the executive and the people who are working, between the stakeholders. If it is in the college, there is a coordination between the teacher and the student, right? So next is fluent working. With the help of communication, there is a fluency in the working of a corporate world. In the corporate world means big offices are there, right? So there are offices, there are organizations, there are industries where people are communicating with each other. So with the help of communication, fluent working is taking place. The basis of decision making is with the help of communication, the decision making is done. Next is increase managerial efficiency. As a manager, with the help of communication, right? So efficiency is there. Managerial efficiency is increased. He can efficiently take the work from the people who are working under him because of communication. Next is increases cooperation and organizational peace. In the organization, if communication is taken place between the people, then there is a cooperation, there is a harmony, there is a peace. Everybody is working nicely, everybody is helping each other. So this way communication takes place. Next is with the help of communication that we can boost morale of the employees. When a manager is talking with the employees, they become very happy. So their morale is boost, right? So their morale can be boosted through the communication. So here are some of the measures to improve communication effectiveness. If we want to make our communication effective, then we must take into consideration of these measures. Communication of clarification of the idea. If we want to communicate effectively, we should have clear ideas. If our ideas are clear, next we can be able to communicate effectively. Then communication should be according to the needs of the receiver. What the receiver want. Actually, what is his need? According to his needs, we should speak. We should communicate with him, right? Then consulting others before communication. Before communication with the people, we should always consult others, right? Whether this is the right person whom I am understanding that he is in our office, right? Or sometimes it happens that we consider that this person is in our office, but he is not of our office. So we should consult others before communication. Then awareness about the language, tone and body postures and gestures. This is a very important point, that we should have awareness about the language. Whatever language we choose, it should be good language. It should be very decent language. The tone should be accordingly, and the body posture, the way you speak, you stand, you sit, or you are standing, it should be correct posture. It should not be bended. When you are standing, some faculty members have the habit of standing, but they are just bending towards the board while writing. They are bending, so that is not a good posture, right? Sometimes it happens that gestures, either they are not giving any gesture, or they are giving too many gestures, using too many gestures, right? Next is convey information useful to the receiver. The information that you are conveying, it should be useful to the receiver. If it is not there, then receiver will not be able to understand, right? So that is the correct information that is conveyed to the receiver. Ensure proper feedback. You ensure that proper feedback is there. Means when you are telling something and the person is understanding and he is giving the feedback. If he is not giving the feedback properly, then there is some problem between you and the receiver. There is problem between the message that is encoded. Follow up communications. In between your communication, you should take the follow-up. A teacher must take the follow-up of the students, whether they are able to understand or not understand. If they are able to understand, then only the teacher should continue. If the students are not able, right, so the teacher should stop and ask the questions. So this is a follow-up. Be a good listener. If you want to be an effective communicator, then you must be a good listener, because once you are listening properly, then you are able to answer properly. So these are some of the measures to improve communication effectively. At last, to sum up, I would like to say that communication is about more than just exchanging information. It is not just exchanging information. It is beyond that. It is more than that. It's about understanding the emotions and intentions behind the information. Many times it happens that people are saying something and their body language says something. In the words, what they are telling, what they are expressing through their body, it is different from that. It is able to clearly convey a message. You need to listen in a way that gains the full meaning of what is being said and makes the person feel heard and understood. He has to speak and make the people feel that he is understanding, he is hearing. If you feel that he's not hearing, that means some problem is there in your speaking. Some problem is there in your speaking when the person, when the receiver, when the listener is not understanding. Now effective communication sounds like it should be instinctive. It should be very, very instinctive. On the spot it should be there. So effective communication sounds like it should be instinct. On the spot it is there, right? Sometimes when we try to communicate with others, something goes astray, something is going wrong. At that time we have to understand, right? So at last I would like to say that we say one thing, the other person hears something else, and we misunderstand anything. So as a result, misunderstandings are created and frustration is taken place, and this is a conflict between the sender and the receiver, between the speaker and the listener, right? So this way some misunderstandings are created. So as a result, there is no effective communication. This can cause problems in your home, school, and the relationship. So I hope you have understood the communication process, the concept and the definition. Students, in our next lecture, in our next video, we will understand the types of communication, because there are many types of communication: verbal, non-verbal, spoken, general, technical, various types of communication are there. We will understand the types and we will understand the non-verbal communication as such. With this, I end up this lecture over here. Till then, bye bye and have a nice day. Thank you. Thank you very much.